everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Niche Girls podcast. I'm Kristen.
I'm Yolanda.
And I'm Jessie.
And we're finally back. We've been away for,
I don't know,
like
a month and a half.
We have been busy, okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
we are busy, and then my kids were sick, my husband was sick, Yolanda
and then
was
I lost
sick.
my voice.
Jessie and I were away for work,
we
and
went to
then
Cali.
My electric was. Remember, something happened. Something happened where I was the problem, and
I
then
think your Wi-Fi went down or something.
Yeah, something went down. So we were only going to take like a 3-week break, and then like Kristen said, she got sick, and then right when we could have recorded last week, my voice.
And Yolanda, you went away.
Yeah, I did.
Like you went away, we went away.
I was
crazy,
away twice because my stepdaughter graduated high school, so I had to go back up north. So I was away for 5 more days.
So forgive us, we're not on a schedule anymore. But
the summer's kind of kicking our butts a little bit.
We're back whenever we can be.
At least I would say we'll at least like try for once a month, but like we'll definitely always say like we'll see you soon. But we
have real soon.
Yes,
good ideas coming up. So it's just
we have some.
Everybody needs to stay
up.
healthy and stay in the state of Florida so we can actually
that's the hard part.
Do them. So because we've been gone so long, there's been so much stuff that has happened in Universal and Disney World. But today we're just going to cover Disney World, and then in the next episode we'll cover Universal because it's too much for one episode, and we're just going to focus on one thing at a time here. So much going on. And in Disneyland too. Jessie and I were in Disneyland for work with We Do Travel Right. We got to go to Pixar Fest and do all of that amazing stuff. So we have some nuggets on that too.
I would say
so should we start with like the positive? Let's start with the positive stuff that's gone on. Let's not be negative right out of the gate this time.
I would say, okay, are we gonna go Disney World positive or Disneyland?
Well, let's start with Disneyland. So like I said, Jessie and I were at Pixar Fest.
I do have a Disney World positive.
Great. We're gonna need that right before the negative.
Yeah.
Like A.
Disneyland's basically all positive. So Pixar Fest was absolutely amazing. Jessie and I had an amazing time.
God. Yeah. So good.
And I feel like it was unexpected because it felt like they really undersold Pixar Fest.
They did.
Yeah.
The only reason me and Kristen wanted to go so bad is because we kept seeing all the influencers going, and we're like, oh my God, this looks so much more amazing than Disney made it out to be.
Yeah.
We were like, we want that content. I was begging Em. I was like, I made out like a whole list for her, a whole paragraph. And I was like, Kristen, I'm just going to send it because the worst she could say is
perspective, like you said, they kind of undersold it. So when we started doing that stuff as an agency, which again is like Jessie and I, our full-time job, we were like, we have to show people this because this is not.
It ended up being like
a low-key
food festival.
So good.
Rare characters. It was in the parade. I feel like they just made it seem like a summertime activation, and they
made it seem like a Disney World event. We're going to give you these little nuggets,
like here's 2 characters and some food. Not here's 10 food booths, multiple rare characters, a parade, different drawing experience.
Fireworks.
Like,
it was so good.
Okay, what was your number one experience from Pixar Fest?
I don't know if I could have just one. It was all like
I have one.
Somebody had to see one thing.
All right, what's yours?
You know what mine is? Before I say it? I only did it 4 times.
Oh, what is it? What did you do?
I just slept like crap last night, so I
Kristen's like, I don't know.
What did you do?
I have no
Bing Bong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is really cool.
But he's just there all the time. I don't think that's Pixar Fest specific. I think he's just at Pixar Place.
He's Pixar Fest specific according online.
Okay.
No, so he's only during Pixar Fest. He's at Pixar Pier, the Pixar Place.
Okay, yeah, because he's only in the hotel.
Yes, but supposedly he's only supposed to be there during Pixar Fest. So we'll see if that changes or not. If we're talking about in park, the parade was amazing.
The best.
I sing the Better Together parade song in my head all the time.
That song is a bop and it lives rent free in my head because
I love that they did like an original song for that too.
It was.
But using 4-Town box.
Good. Okay, but yes, and 4-Town, I
was there.
Yes, and okay, Turning Red wasn't like an amazing movie for me. I was like, okay, this is a good movie.
It, but I agree.
I liked it.
Mother, I loved it.
Of course.
That was cute.
For me, it was cute. It's not a movie that I'm going to watch over and over again. I'm not going to sing the 4-Town songs over and over again. That just wasn't. I love boy bands, but for me, it wasn't a thing. For some reason, at Pixar Fest, I couldn't get enough of Four Town, and I was like, wow.
It's really true.
I was
I
like,
love that. She's like, I am a Four-Town girly now.
now I need a band T-shirt.
We made that song, whichever one is the popular one, our trip anthem. Like, we used it in a ton of reels we made. Like, we would just sing it. It kept playing over and over. We were like, the universe wants us to love this song.
I was like, Kristen, before this trip, I didn't know this song, and now I know this song, every single word, and I'm singing it all day, every day for 4 days. I was like, wow, this is a bop. I need a band T-shirt now.
I mean, yeah.
So.
Harper has one. She has a Four Town shirt.
I know.
I think one thing that like stuck out for me, because it seemed like something that could easily translate to Disney World. We obviously have that kind of Pixar hallway by Toy Story Land, like the left-hand side by where you buy the Edna Mode, the cookies, the Jack Jack cookies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it stuck out to me that they were doing so many rare characters there, because I understand that we might not necessarily, because we have Fantasmic, we might not necessarily need like the whole activation, but we already have Joy. They got Anger. They got
Sadness.
Wade, and they have both May and her mom.
Luca and Alberto.
It was Luca for me, and the Luca float. I'm sorry, I'm going on, but
the Luca float.
They're mermaids on the bottom.
It was incredible. Yeah, that float was beyond amazing. And then I didn't realize Barley and Ian from Onward were gonna be there either.
Yes.
That was freaking cool. I was like,
that's what I mean. I understand not the whole thing, but we could easily have the characters here.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
We have the college program here. There's kids who want to perform.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. Well, and the fact that they even have like the up characters, like something so simple.
Yeah.
We have Doug.
Yeah.
No, we have Kevin.
And Kevin.
Kevin is a jewel.
And we have
and Russell, but we don't have Carl anymore.
I know.
They took Carl away. And I'm like,
but Bing Bong, I think is like an experience.
Because
he looked massive.
Every single time he was in the lobby, I needed to hug him.
Is he able to move quite like freely? Yeah. Like he's pretty chill.
He doesn't sign. He imaginary signed my backpack.
I love that. That's cute.
Yeah, he doesn't sign. A lot of them didn't sign though.
A lot
to
of
be
them
honest
have
with you.
Do they have stamps or no?
No.
Okay.
So because they were specialty characters, they didn't sign. So like Luca and Alberto didn't sign. Ember and Wade didn't
that would have made me a little bit sad, because I feel like Ember's signature could have had like a little flame in it, so it could have been really cute. And then same thing, Wade could have been like a water
and
W.
I think now that they have the costumes, if they keep the characters, they will make them sign. But because it was for a specialty event, they didn't. So,
but just the opportunity to bring more of them off the screen, I think.
Yeah.
I don't love the way Wade and Ember's like legs looked. But I'm very biased on this. It looks
better in person, I will say.
Good. That's good.
Because on the photos, I was kind of worried too. But in person, it's better.
It's good. Yeah. But just the opportunity to meet new characters, having new experiences in the parks is something we always say that Disneyland like really thrives on. And we don't always.
Well, their audience is mainly annual pass holders, and they need to give them a reason to come back over and over again. Whereas people are going to come to Disney World regardless. People come from this is the flagship. People are going to come here.
That's true.
They don't need to do anything to get people to come here.
Right.
And they don't.
No, it's very true. It's very true. How did you guys feel about like the food booth they had? Was it like worth the California prices? Were
First
they,
of
like,
all,
good
let's
portions?
talk about their food booths. They give you trays. They give you trays.
Actual trays.
The booths give you trays?
Yes. When you go to pick up your food,
cardboard trays.
Order, and then you go over to the pickup line, and there's a table with trays, and you pick up the tray, and they put your food on it.
Kristen was like, "Oh my God, there's trays," and I was like, "There's trays."
Yeah, that's life changing.
Yeah. This is a big deal for us because in a previous lifetime, had to
bring our own trays.
Meaning we would have to go and take pictures, and like you're ordering everything at a food booth and you're taking a ton of photos and video of it. Yeah. I'm talking hundreds of photos. We had to bring our own trays.
Too much.
To kind of deal with all of that. And
you had to like shove a tray like in your backpack. Like Jessie had a really cool like carabiner system. You really had to figure out how to, and the trays are really annoying. And I will say people were always very excited. They'd be like, "Oh my God, that's so smart. You brought a tray." But do you know how much it would have changed my life if I was given a recyclable tray?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the
know.
tray is very awkward. Okay, you guys try
because
a tray
remember,
in a
like
lounge
you're there,
flight.
you have to keep your phone out, you
like a
have to keep
turtle.
your phone charged, you have water because you're dying in the heat. We used to bring like ice packs with us because our phones were overheating. So like you had luck going into a park to do a job, and it was just like impossible.
So that's why I made that for everyone who maybe doesn't watch on YouTube. If you don't watch on YouTube and or you listen and you don't watch my phone, I was literally like flabbergasted. My mouth was just hanging open. That's why I was silent because I was like, I'm sorry.
They give you the tray. Like I can't.
Great.
I just.
Okay, so aside from the trays, how did we feel about like the food, the portions?
But wait, I gotta comment on the booth atmosphere though, because the actual booths, the way that they look, oh my god, they looked like the movie. So like you could look at a booth and be like,
decorates their booths.
Not like that.
Not like this.
Epcot throws some flowers and some grapes on it and calls it a day, and then they say, "Hey, this is Mexico."
Yeah.
But you couldn't look at the back of the booth and be like, "Damn, that's Mexico."
Yeah, that's
this
true.
one, you could look at the elemental booth and be like, "That's an elemental booth."
Yeah, you could look at the side of it or the
That's
back of it and know
cute.
with
The soul booth,
so perfectly
the
themed.
colors, the Luca booth. You could be like, "That's a Luca
Oh, I
booth."
love that. They actually decorated them, like used color. And
They themed them. They were like on point theming, and the food was good.
It looked so themed.
So good.
It was themed.
It was themed. Literally, the booths and the food looked like the movie. I was like, what?
Which is so cute. That's such a cute idea.
So cute. I was like, how? And the food was good.
Like
the
actually
drinks were good. Yes.
Just
It was, I was like, I'm gonna eat another one of these.
Yeah.
Or like we got the I don't remember, it was like a margarita and it was from the elemental booth.
Cute.
And it was beautiful. It had rock candy.
First of all. It wasn't like one of those little, you're paying $8
No,
for a
it
sip.
was
It
like
was solo
full on
cup
drink.
Of booze. Jesse and I were like, we can't drink all that. We'll die.
No, but it was like
I would have had to share. Yeah, like
it was some kind of grapefruit. Kristen's like, oh, I don't really like grapefruit. And I was like, I do, so like I'll try it.
I'll get it.
Oh my god, it was so good.
We both liked it.
So
I love
good.
that.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, their food in California in general always impresses me if anyone ever gets a chance to go. I feel like that's a lot of people's saving grace for people who don't think Disneyland is better. They're like, oh, the food is better. And I expected it to be a little better when I went, but no, all the food is, it's better.
like,
especially like
significantly.
even something as simple as churros, like they're better.
Oh, the churros are amazing.
Like, they're fresh.
Like, I'm going to eat another churro. They're just,
Yeah.
no contest.
Yeah. Just Pixar.
It was
so
just
good.
the best. If you have little kids, it's totally worth it. If they do it again next year, which I bet you they will, because
they probably will. Yeah,
I think so.
the response was so good this year. I definitely suggest going. Even if you don't have little kids, it was just.
And they might even add more next year. They might add more to it just because of the response it got. You know.
Yeah,
it was great, and I think they did such a wonderful job with it. And then it almost makes it, to transition now to Disney World, Jesse and I were on the plane back home, and I was like, it's almost like insulting going home now, because it's like, you can do it. You know how to do it, because you're doing it here.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to have a good event. You know how to theme a booth. You know how to write a bop for a parade. You know how to make beautiful floats. You know how to have beautiful fireworks. You know how to do it. You are choosing to not do it here. And it was like insulting coming home. I was like, someone slapped me in the face, because I'm like, okay, now we're here.
I agree too, because at least after like seeing like Japan, I had an excuse of like, oh well, they have different investors. They have different investors, so it's fine.
All
you
the
know,
money in the world with the Oriental Land Company. Budget
but
is
then
no issue there.
Just like I said, the activations they're doing over there, I'm like, okay, but that's the same bank account.
Yeah, same.
Same Imagineers, same bank. You have the ability.
Why can't we have that?
You are making a conscious effort to be like, nah.
Yeah.
And
I also love that like they released all those popcorn buckets and sippers in Disneyland, and then eventually like 2 months later Walt Disney World got them. Oh, here, we didn't sell them all, so you can have them now.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, whenever I see debates about like what we've gotten online recently, I always see we got Guardians, and we did. I'm not gonna downplay that we have Guardians and Disneyland.
They got Guardians. It's just different.
And Guardians is wonderful and large, right? And I get
they have Adventure Campus.
They have Avengers Campus, yeah.
They have a whole camp. They just I always
they got web slingers. Okay, done. Like they
Spider-Man
get we don't get. So to say like, okay, we got one thing they don't have. Okay, great. They have a ton of stuff.
We got the one thing. Like, all right,
Cars Land.
Done.
Yeah, them refurbing our test track into what it was instead of Cars Land is
Like
hurtful.
what?
It's hurtful.
What are you doing?
I've seen
Why
the
are
Epcot
you...
parking lot. They have space.
We want nostalgia.
They have
Not
space.
that. Nobody
No.
asked for that.
No.
Yeah, so now we're getting into the new Epcot and new Magic Kingdom. So
All right,
I
well,
will
Yolanda,
say-
why don't you give us your positive Disney World change?
okay, my positive is that from what I've seen in details and everything, it looks like Tiana's, other than not having a storyline, was actually, in terms of the queue and the details, it seems like there was a decent amount of thought put into, like, honoring Tiana's story. And I do like...
What story?
they made a whole backstory for her. So there's, like, letters from her father in the ride. There's different recipes. I like how they incorporated the critters and how you're, like, shrunk down to a critter. I do think that there's no reason that Dr. Facilier isn't in the ride at all. Like, there's no villain, and I don't love that. You dropped for no reason, which is a bit weird. But, and they have a bit of screen happening, which I don't love the use of screens. I do like how quickly Tiana's happened and how is still pretty.
What do you define?
For Disney, that was quick.
When did
think
it
was
close?
quick.
It took them over a year to do it?
About like a year and 3 months. Was
For
around
Disney, that
like
is quick.
For Disney, that is quick because we waited 5 years for we
Well,
waited
it's
5
not
years.
a new ride. They didn't build anything.
But that's pretty quick.
For them, yes. Replacing animatronics for it to take a year and a half is very quick. Because, again,
So,
to build a roller coaster that they already
Oh,
had...
and that's another thing I was going to
took
say. The
5 years.
positive is like the alligator animatronic. I'm for Louis. I will say, it's really good. It's really cool.
Yeah, I don't agree with
My
everything
positives
that you
are there.
said.
I like the critter incorporation. I like this, like the store, and I like the animatronics. I don't understand why there's no storyline. That is a bit confusing to me.
Yeah, I like I haven't been on Tiana's. I want to be transparent with that.
A lot of things.
But I've watched like 1,000 videos, so I don't know that I even need to really write it. I like that we've gotten some of those advanced animatronics here finally, because I am tired of the screen face animatronics. And if I had my druthers, they would go into Frozen Ever After and they'd swipe them out. They'd go into Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and they'd swap them out, and
the screen face is creepy.
We'd get rid of the screen face, and we would, because again, like, remember, I'm looking at it too from the mother's perspective. So like when the screens are out and the character has no face on the ride,
it's horrifying.
Like, it's horrifying. And my young kids who I mean, they're older now, but when they were younger and they like don't understand that that's not really Anna,
Elsa.
That's not really Elsa. Like, they don't understand why their faces are blank. So like, I'm glad that.
No, I agree.
So I hope that this is the start of replacing some of that.
Yes.
These beautiful animatronics that they have in Tokyo that they have other places.
I was going to say that's also where I think Disney kind of struggled, is the timing of when that was lined up was so bad, because you had Tiana's and we were all like, okay, this is pretty nice, pretty. And then you had Fantasy Springs opening on top of it. So you were flooded with like, oh, with a couple extra million, here's what Tokyo's getting. Which I don't know if you've seen the videos, like between the Rapunzel ride and between the Frozen ride. Anna's cape literally looks like it like unmelts. It's crazy. And
beautiful.
Just the technology difference. But as we said, we're going to stick with Disney World, but the timing on that couldn't have been worse. What would have been a really great opening for Tiana's was also they decided to open Epcot's CommuniCore Hall with it. And it overshadowed any positivity that Tiana's could have had.
Let me go back to Tiana's for 1 minute. And then
I didn't even start with my Tiana yet.
Yeah. So
and I've been on it.
Tiana, for me, it just is like...
it doesn't look like it's great.
My issue with it is that, once again, we had to lose something to gain something. And did what we gain live up to what we lost? Now, I can understand,
or what we were promised.
From a historical perspective, people had issues with Splash Mountain, and I completely understand that, and I honor that. And if something needs to be done about that, then yes, something needs to be done.
Then all right,
But I feel like, fine, let's give it to them. Something needed to be done about that, so we're doing it. Absolutely. I just feel like it was a missed opportunity to not make it more along the lines of the ride, because then you have kind of some more of those characters, and even Jessie, who doesn't love that movie, loves Dr. Facilier. Like that, you know what I mean?
I do.
So
same.
I just think that was a little bit of a missed opportunity.
Really cool.
Why did we we have to lose something to get something? I don't understand. Why can't they just get something new?
I think
Tiana a ride,
like,
but
so
make it
after
something
Thunder
different.
Mountain, like, you know that area behind Thunder Mountain, or like to the right? I think a Tiana's Bayou Pirates style boat ride would have worked a lot better. Like, actual ride through a bayou, something like
Well,
that.
and that's
I think
the thing. In Disneyland, having Tiana's works there because their Splash Mountain was right next to Haunted Mansion. It's like that whole area is New Orleans.
New Orleans
it makes
Square.
sense there. But here it doesn't even make sense. So it's like
It doesn't.
I just feel like you could have done something that makes a little bit more sense, that like maybe works with Frontierland better, or put something for her in Fantasyland or something. And just, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I just feel like you are Disney. You have a lot of money and you have literally the most creative, like amazing minds in the world. Like clearly you could have come up with something else, a little bit more like, you know, razzle dazzle than like, I don't know.
All right, my turn.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
I'm like, okay, my turn. Okay, so I know the movie of Tiana, okay? I went on the ride and I was so freaking confused. I was asking Jake the whole time next to me, what's happening? Wait, when did we get...
Why are we
small?
Why are we small?
Are we big again? Wait, did she... What? I'm like, what just happened? I was so confused.
There's no story.
So confused. I've seen the movie Tiana. This has nothing to do with Tiana. They gave her a whole new story, whole new background. If I didn't know what people were saying online, as a normal person going to Disney,
you wouldn't have picked up
how
on it.
am I supposed to know what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
I was so
I
confused.
actually agree with that, because I think I mainly can appreciate it because I've watched so many videos
because
of
you know the story,
and the backstory.
But as a person that has no idea what's going on, I purposely was trying to avoid all of the spoilers, because I was like, I don't want to watch the spoilers. I want to go on it on my own time when I can, and I want to see it for myself. So me going on it, Jake had watched the ride-throughs.
Right, so he
knew what was going on. Me, I was like, what am I...
Like, what is this?
I am so confused. Yes, the animatronics were cool. Great. They're all like the end of the Navi River, you know.
Yeah.
They're like her.
They move
she's
well,
actually she's way more amazing. But
they move well.
The 2 or 3 Tianas I saw were amazing. And then the 1 or 2 Lewis's I saw were amazing. Other than that, you shrink down Alice in Wonderland, and I was like,
because you're a critter.
Okay, but they don't explain that.
But how are you supposed to know? Yeah,
like, they don't explain that in the ride. It just happens.
Like in Ariel's, when you go underwater, it's very clear. Yeah. It's very clear.
This is dark. It's just, I have it recorded. It's dark. You just drop into blackness, and all of a sudden you're in Alice in Wonderland. And I was like, "Am I in Alice in Wonderland?" And
Jake
was like, "No, you shrunk down to a bug." And I was like, "But why did I shrink down to a bug?"
And when did I shrink down to a bug? Like,
I was looking around so confused. I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then Mama Odie sprinkles she's cooking. Okay, yes. She's cooking. And then she sprinkles some seasonings, and then you drop down the drop. And I was like, why did I get sprinkly seasonings before dropping down a drop? And apparently it's because they want to make you bigger to go to the party. And then the party scene looks amazing, but you go by so quick, I didn't even see it. I was like, wait.
My face.
What am I looking at?
See, like, and
then I got off the ride, and my friends behind me were like, so how'd you like it? Because they had gone on already before. And I was like, I'm confused.
You're like, I'm a wee bit confused.
Can somebody explain to me what just happened?
I love all the New Orleans details and all the fun stuff. Yeah, like, I like all the way everything's
and I like that it is representing Tiana.
No, I just don't at all like that there's no story behind why you're dropping. Like, I just feel like drop would be like, that's like exciting, threatening. Ooh, you know, like
I just
they
feel
don't
like
tell you anywhere.
You want more representation of these things in the parks, and I'm all about that 110%. But I feel like that you kind of did her a little dirty, because her ride doesn't, like, she kind of deserves better than that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you really want to do it and you want to like incorporate some of these different cultural aspects of these films to these parks, do it well.
Like, there's a lot of, I will say, inside. Yeah, I was gonna say inside. There's a lot of trees, and there's a lot of like lightning bugs, so a lot of like little glowy lights on the top, which I was like, ooh, that's pretty. But where am I?
Yeah. I mean,
so it's also, they could do a lot more in terms like an area around it too, in terms of like now that they have like the New Orleans storyline, if it was like Kristen said, where it was like the Orleans Square, they could have like a second line band that kind of plays in front of the ride. They could have different like Mardi Gras celebration involving costumes and stuff like that outside. Cute. And they kind of can't because Frontierland's right there. You know what I mean? So like, and there's cowboys right there. So it's kind of like
way better. Like there, I feel like
like there's a lot
it sticks out more here. Where like there, I think it's just going to be so seamless and look so nice. And I feel like they're doing it justice because then they gave her a restaurant and like you know what I mean. Like that whole area now is going to be alive with that theme, and that ride is going to work.
Yes,
but here it so much feels sense. Like they shoehorned it in, and I'm like, was this? Do it there. Like, fine, do what you wanted to do in Disneyland, and then give her something different here. Do something different. You don't have to do the same thing.
But, but the inside does look like a lot like the outside. Like how you see the tree thingies on top with the lights, the twinkly lights. Okay. A lot of that is what's inside.
Like swampy.
Yeah.
Swampy.
And let us not forget, this was another example of here's this beautiful blue sky concept art of what the front of this ride is going to look like. And then here's what you get, and it looks nothing greenery like that. So maybe that's a good segue to get into.
Yeah, I will say the last thing is that the beignets look sad. Okay, the beignets don't look correct. Sorry. Beignets are supposed to have like
Yolanda,
a mountain of sugar. They're also not supposed to be completely hollow. And then also, for some reason, Disney's are hollow. I don't understand why.
Okay, so mine were not hollow. Mine, I got them a couple hours after our friend, and mine were like
pillowy goodness.
Mine were like a brick. I didn't even finish it. I took one bite, and I said, I'm not eating that.
And they have barely any powdered sugar. You're supposed to be able to have like powdered sugar fates, like a literal mountain where you can at people.
Again, they can do it because they do it at Port Orleans. So why can't you just do it here? Like I'm perplexed. You can do
Port
it.
Orleans is delicious. Yeah.
You can do it.
No, they're correct at Port Orleans. That's what I mean. Because I've been seeing the photos from the parks, and I'm like, no, but this is the correct.
You can do it because you're doing it there. So
they're good at Port Orleans. I like them at Port Orleans.
It wasn't even like a donut. It was literally like a brick of. It tasted like a baguette that was oily. It was like thick.
Nope,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
And I love baguettes, but this was not a good one.
I don't like it.
I wanted a beignet, not a fried baguette.
Yeah, I don't like it. It makes me sad.
So, yeah.
But all right.
At
Epcot.
So womp womp. The walls are finally all down. Every single wall is down. They opened CommuniCore Hall, finally. And...
Yay.
The Encanto show looks cute.
Yay.
And Moana is pretty and nice for children.
It's a lovely water feature.
It's a lovely water feature in the wrong park.
That belongs in Animal Kingdom.
And that's all I've got to say about positives.
There's a nice...
the AC!
There's a nice AC airport area.
Yeah, if it rains, you're going to have coverage and AC.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that's all we got.
It's a great waiting room.
Yep. You can play cornhole for $134. You can play cornhole. If you want to pay that to get in the park, you get to play cornhole.
I didn't even see cornhole.
No, it's on the yard. It's in the yard out. Yeah, it's in the yard part. Yeah.
Oh, it's on the outside.
Okay.
And if you want to meet Minnie and Mickey and the characters, you get to wait half outside now instead of all inside.
I knew that it was going to be bad.
I don't want to talk about how they built a massive building and made the line outside for that. I don't even that is.
So Jessie and we were in Epcot for something else, and we're like, all right, let's go see it. And I knew it was going to be bad because I had seen I always spoil things for myself. I don't know. It's my ADHD.
Yeah, same. I did for that too.
Yeah. I spoiled. I looked. I knew it was going to be bad. As bad as I thought it was going to be, it was 1,000 times worse.
Oh no.
It was. I don't understand I don't get it. I don't understand. You're Disney. You're Disney. You can do better than a college
not positive
quad. You can do better than this.
I think it's what I said when I first texted to you guys. I think it is, and I made a reel about it on Mish, but I think it is literally that they are moving towards when conventions come into town, they want their money.
That's exactly what it looks like.
That is space to host parties when conventions buy out the park, when they host things like the Contemporary, private weddings, Disney. It's just that. It's just space they can sell out. It has to be.
So disappointed overall with the Epcot transformation, and I put that in quotes because I don't really know what was transformed. They did not make it more family friendly. They did not increase any sort of capacity. They did not make it timeless. It's just, in my opinion, it looks way more dated now than it did, and I can only imagine in 5 to 10 years how absolutely dated that's going to look. So what did you accomplish?
And the floor are already broken.
What did they accomplish? Because I think you didn't accomplish the 3 big things that you set out to do. So what did you do besides destroy any sort of nostalgia, any sort of like quirkiness that made Epcot? What did you do?
Lost Electric Umbrella for that.
Yep.
And I loved Electric Umbrella. I
lost the Fountain of Nations mac and cheese for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think one thing that made me really sad, like thinking back to my childhood, was that Epcot used to always be about like learning. And I understand making it more of a theme park with rides and stuff like that over the years. But Innoventions in that area was always like a kid's science museum.
Yeah.
And I really liked that as a child and probably as an adult, because I really love science museums. And there was all these like, there was this like fire thing that you could go and learn how to put out fires. There was a thing that taught you how to save money, even though I learned nothing from it. There was,
that exercise was futile for all of us, but that's fine.
Okay. There was all these fun exhibits that had like a learning aspect while also being out of the rain. And then Electric Umbrella was just really cool. And it makes me sad that we lost that for children. And then to that same note, I think theme parks, and we'll kind of get it into the Universal like episode, but theme parks are what makes Disney and Universal different is the level of immersion that you can get there. And like, what are you immersing me in when I walk into CommuniCore Hall?
Nothing.
When I walk into the new, that what we want to call the college area at Epcot now, the new garden. What are you immersing me into? Like when I walk into Guardians, I'm being immersed into space. I know what I'm in a space museum. I know what I'm in. When I'm in Paris, I know I'm in Paris. I know I've been shrunk down to be a rat. What are you putting me into in CommuniCore Hall? What is it? It's a convention hall.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
What are you
saying? You remember, I am like at least a decade older than the two of you. I remember even further back than you guys do about how quirky and weird Epcot was. I mean, there was like a show with like a big old dinosaur in it at one point. Like there was some weird stuff in Epcot. And you know what? It was,
and I liked that.
Like keep Epcot weird. Like it was so.
That's a sticker.
We need a sticker. Keep Epcot weird.
2024.
Like
I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Please write it down because we can design it.
So, I don't know. It's so upsetting. I get so emotional when I think about the Epcot that I loved as a kid and as a high schooler and as a college kid that like never went crazy to like, well, I did, but like never went like to party anywhere really, honestly. Like I would come to Disney World. Like you know what I mean? I had friends in college that like Disney World. My boyfriend in college like Disney World. Like we would come here. My heart breaks that my children will never experience or fall in love with Epcot the way I did because of, I'm going to cry now thinking about it. Like when I tell you, it makes me depressed to like, that my kids don't even really want to go because they're like, what? Yeah. Like,
they're like, why?
Why? You know,
it's such a different park. And it's like you said, like, when you compare it to the previews and the blue sky pictures and everything, like I always expect that we lose a little bit, but like we didn't lose a little bit. No, like
they did something completely different. They did something completely different. And like I kind of was able to get myself like halfway there with that blue sky concept, but because I know Disney so well, immediately I was like, this ain't gonna happen. Like
I just didn't think it was gonna be this.
Right. But like this is so bad.
They took away Baymax.
Yep.
It's just, it's so bad. And
Character Spot was so nice. Like, Character Spot was so fun.
So fun.
I mean, like,
even like the Coca-Cola store, it used to have like this giant Jeep in front of it before and like ice that had like frozen over. Like,
frozen guy in it when it was Ice Station Cool and it had that like, caveman looking guy. And it wasn't like a Jeep, it was like a big excavator and like it had all fake ice outside of it. Your girl remembers.
And even, and that's what I mean is, even a Coke store, you were being immersed in something. Like it was, if you're a kid, if you're a kid, you're walking into the Arctic. You're walking into, like, you feel it. You get it.
We remember it
And
to this day. That's the thing. It was a Coca-Cola store. It was a place where you just went in and tried sodas. And the three of us are sitting here remembering it fondly because at all the different stages of our lives, right? Like y'all were young, you were in high school, you were probably in college, I was an adult, like whatever it was, all at those stages of our lives, it impacted. Now, do you think my kids are going to remember Club Cool or whatever the heck it's called? Do you think they're going to sit there in 30 years and be like, oh, I remember walking into Club Cool and looking at Coca-Cola chapstick and drinking a Beverly?
No. Not the chapstick.
You got Yolanda so quick.
Right.
The shade. The Coca-Cola merch shade.
Like, I can't even at Walgreens. Like, come on.
That's the problem.
Come on.
Jessie, did you agree that it was worse than you thought?
Yeah, it was funny. It was great. Yeah, no, I literally walked in and I was like, we can go now. And I was like, wait, you know what? Let me give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's just make a loop. We did a loop.
But the expletives coming out of our mouth, like it was, yeah.
Luckily, we were not recording ourselves because
we wouldn't have been able to use the footage because every word was derogatory or some level of curse word. It was not pretty.
Yeah. The only thing I enjoyed about our whole loop was the line for the outside Mickey and Minnie queue. The wall is painted very cute. Pretty. The mural, beautiful.
There we go.
But it's in the line for Mickey and Minnie outside.
There we go.
I had to actually jump into the line to like get a photo of the mural.
I do like that.
That was it. I was like, oh wow, this is a nice waiting room.
Here's the thing.
I also
good airport.
I did think of one other positive, and
go for it.
It's not an Epcot positive, but I know we have to end the episode. But my other positive was that I saw Dreams That Soar. It's very cute.
I didn't see
as you're seeing online. It's not necessarily worth the crowds, but it's really cool. I don't know that Disney Springs is the right place for it, and that's all I'll say. If you're there, if you're in the area, it's amazing. So cute.
I'm hoping that's just like their tester show. You know what I mean? Like, will this do well? So. Is it? If it does, like, let's take that technology and use it in something different. You know,
it's only supposed to be till Labor Day, so it's really short.
Yeah,
Memorial to Labor.
And I think they're trying to.
Yeah, and I totally get that, and that's fine. I'm hoping it's a tester too, because I don't want to deal with the crowds to go and watch it. I do want to go see it. It looks very cool, but no, I've just been living vicariously through Yolanda because she haven't seen it.
She braved it. It was very cool, but I was already gonna like be there, so it's very cool. But but I don't think that makes up for Epcot.
No, not at all.
I hope that people, you know, because we were saying this before we started rolling. I'll leave us with this thought, and then we'll sign off. But people that love Disney, I think, look at it through this lens that they can do no wrong. And then I know sometimes we post not negative things, but negative things or critical things. And it's not because we don't like Disney. Like, I want to criticism. I want to be very clear. It's not that we don't like it. Like, we love it, obviously. Like, we live here and we go a lot. But it's like, we just think that we deserve better. Like,
they could have done better. They can do
better. And they're not doing that for us. And it's like, you know, I think if people were just a little bit more honest about that and not so like, it's Disney, so therefore I'm going to like it no matter what, then maybe it would get a little bit better because people would kind of hear, you know what I mean? Like, what's coming back to them, I think a lot of times is people that are just trying to make them happy and saying like, oh, this is wonderful, this is wonderful, this is wonderful. And it's like,
but it's not.
It's not.
I agree with that.
So I think people need to be a little bit more honest and hold them to the higher standard that they themselves claim to be, right?
The magic. So the magic. We want the immersive
magic back.
What is that? With great power comes great responsibility. Like, you want to be the top theme park dog, you got to earn it. You have to earn it. And putting up a building,
you have to stay the top theme park dog. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we deserve better than this. You want to be number one, be number one. And wow us all with what you can do. You can do it because you did it in Pixar Fest, so you can do it.
I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eye holes.
This year, like,
you can do it.
I know
literally a month ago.
We'll do it.
I've seen it.
Like that. So let us know what you think. If you've seen it, if you were underwhelmed, overwhelmed, if you loved it, if you hated it, if you think we're being too negative, let us know.
Ooh, and let us know if you actually got an annual pass preview because Yolanda didn't. So
I did not. All the reservations for all the parks were full.
She's not salty. Not salty at all.
Not salty at all.
So join us.
That was fine.
Join us next week. We're going to break down everything Universal has given us this summer so far.
Yes.
And we're going to see what we think about all that goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. We love you guys so much. And we will actually see you in 2 weeks, probably. We will actually
Probably
be back in 2 weeks. So thank you guys so much for listening. We love you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.